of questions as needed. Mr. Cannon, I saw firsthand how devastating Hurricane Irene was and how our state was impacted by that and Hurricane Sandy. Can you tell us where you are in the rebuilding process for both of those disasters?
We suffered a significant housing loss in Irene and Lee, and then exacerbated with Sandy. So we have been moving forward, temporary housing, sheltering, and then into the mitigation program. And we are in the process now of conducting the buyouts for the areas that are flood prone and have repetitive flooding. That process is extremely bureaucratic and time consuming. The environmental and historic reviews consume significant time. And additionally, in northeastern Pennsylvania, there are a lot of mineral rights that were transferred to someone 100 years ago that is no longer in existence. And under FEMA's policy, when you buy out a property, nothing can be on the surface of that ground again. And so the fear that someone from 100 years ago might show up and put some structure to remove the coal prevents that house from being able to be purchased. So we've been doing a lot of work trying to deal with the mineral rights issues as it delays the mitigation process. You're probably aware that in Sandy, we had extreme difficulty with that declaration and that process. I tried to get people to understand that there's a river called the Delaware River that is between New Jersey and Pennsylvania. On the New Jersey side of the river, they were declared. On the Pennsylvania side of the river, they were not declared. And there certainly is no wall that goes down the middle of the river that stopped the storm. So to go back to the public and try to explain that is extremely difficult. One of the most amazing issues was the denial of emergency protective measures for the communities that prepared for Sandy as a historic event, never heard of before, unprecedented. We took great steps to prepare for that storm. Pennsylvania is a commonwealth with 2,600 local municipal governments. People preparing for that event spent their public works overtime money, their salt budgets for the winter, all getting ready, and then were not reimbursed for that. So the next time I approach them and the next major event, they will say, I'm sorry, but I can't do as much as I did the last time because we just can't afford it. And so it was an amazing adventure to see a denial of a declaration not based in law and not based on the CFR, but on a new standard of review that evaluated how you prepared based on the threat by the impact you had after the event. No one knows what the impact is going to be when you have the storm of the century that you're preparing for. So it's been difficult. And we continue to file appeals, and we will attempt to take every option available, because at the end of that process are the people who suffer from these storms and these events.
Thank you, Mr. Cannon. As a former mayor, I certainly understand what's involved in being prepared for a storm and the costs that are incurred, especially when so many communities are cash-strapped and do what they can to try to prevent lives from being lost and property lost, which I certainly understand what you're saying. From your perspective, how well has federal coordination with state and local governments worked in the recovery process?
That has been outstanding. Once we've gotten past our disagreements on things, the actual work itself has been outstanding. And I think key to these successful major disaster operations is the position called the Federal Coordinating Officer. And the FCO cadre, being highly skilled, highly trained, highly experienced, they tend to try as much as possible to eliminate bureaucratic obstacles and to get the actual resources on the ground that people need to do it. And so we have had a great working relationship, and together, between state resources and federal resources, I think we've done a real good job on that recovery, working through those issues. But overall, it's been very good.
Thank you.